Welcome to the channel. I'm Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Gosford, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Have you ever got to the point where you've been tired of people complaining? The dread of the next complaint or the next scheme, the next accusation, the next word of wickedness, the sharpening of the tongue against you, the bitter words that are like arrows, the ambushing, the seclusion you feel, the sudden shooting down your nervous system. People do have an evil purpose at different times. They speak of hiding their snares for you to fall back into, behind your back. Who will see them, they say? Well, the light has a tremendous way of shining on the darkness in the spirit realm. You can read in many ways what's going on in the mind of a person. You don't have to be overcome by all the different ways in which people point their finger at you and criticize and attack you and ambush you. David says in Psalm 64, verse 1, "Hear, O God, my voice of complaint." You see, you can complain back at the people that are causing you dread. Preserve my life from the dread of the enemy, from those that speak out against me. Hide me from the scheming of the wicked, from the mob of the workers of iniquity, who sharpen their tongues like swords and aim their bitter words like arrows, ambushing the innocent in seclusion, shooting suddenly without fear. See, people want you down. They want to keep you down where they need you, where they can take advantage of you. And you come to a point in life where you push back. You rise and push back. Just the Spirit of God rises up in you. And you say to God, they hold fast to their evil purpose, Lord, and they speak of hiding their snares against me. They say, who will see the traps that we've set for them? That's what they say. They devise injustice and they say, we have perfected a secret plan, for the inner man and the heart are mysterious. This is covert, psychopath, narcissistic, dark triad behavior. And David spotted it and seen it and recognized it. And he didn't cower down. He turned to God. And I've done this in a couple of situations where family members have come to rise against me. And I've turned and I've said, Dear Lord, please hear the voice of my complaint. Preserve my life from the dread of these people that are scheming wickedness and iniquity against me with the sharpness of their tongues. In their seclusion, they're ambushing me, Lord. I can feel it, I can sense it. It's coming at me in different layers and vibrations in the spiritual realm. Don't let their bitter words be fired at me like arrows behind my back. And that's the beauty of coming back to your pedigree, coming back to your Christianity. You sort of have the insight to be able to just stand back and watch these people shooting arrows, and they're just sort of dropping to the ground and they try and ambush you, and you're just watching on. It gets to the point where you just wonder, why are you wasting your time? Because that's what it is. When people complain and try and bring dread on people, and they hide with their scheming and their wickedness like a mob of workers working against somebody that's just trying to get on with their life. They sharpen their tongues like swords, and they're as blunt as a bread and butter knife. And they aim their bitter words like arrows, and they're like a straw. Have you ever tried to fire a straw, plastic straw, with a bow? They covertly try and ambush you and the innocence that you have. Behind your back, they shoot suddenly. Their words and their accusations and their delusions, and they do it without fear, and this is where they come undone. Because what they don't realize, when you're firing arrows at people that are Christian or chosen, verse 7, God will shoot them with arrows. That's not a position I want to be in. I don't know about you, but God's got a way of miraculously making things turn out for good. It says in Romans, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. One of the best ways you can do that is just by removing yourself. Hey, just hang on a sec. Kind of the message behind that picture, isn't it? Hey, just hang on a sec. I'm walking in the light. I got the fire of God. Just hey. And God will shoot them with arrows, and suddenly they will be wounded. That's talking about psychological narcissistic collapse. When somebody's trying to do something evil and is so determined to do it, and it's just not working, and they start to psychologically collapse. It's called a narcissistic injury, an injury on a narcissist. When they don't get their way, suddenly they're wounded. And you haven't done anything. You're just you're just watching, and you're watching these people crumble around you. It doesn't pay to have evil purposes against people. Whether you're aware that you're doing it or not, it doesn't pay. Because there is a God, and He watches over His people. And I know some of my girls that I've had in my life, they know this. They've seen the blessing on my life. They've seen that I don't get involved. I just stand back and go, this is enough. Enough's enough. Come on. And they will be made to stumble, and their tongues turned against them. This is how it works for the interferers. God shoots them with His arrows, and suddenly they're wounded. He makes people see what their failings are, but it's a matter of whether they want to accept it or not. And it goes for all of us, me included. That's called self-introspection. They'll be made to stumble, their own tongues turned against them. All who see will shake their heads. Have you ever gotten to the point where you've shaken your head at the things that people have done? You've just stood there and shaken your head? See, you don't have to be cowered down like this person. We know what's up ahead for the troublemakers. Stand up and be tall, and the shadows will disappear. Come out from the shadows. They want to hold you down. Too many people are conditioned by the people closest to them to be manipulated and controlled. They've lost their identity, and they've lost their relationships as well. Controlled by troublemakers. And sometimes you just have to come to terms with some of the people that are closest to you are the worst people you should have around you. God will shoot them with arrows, and suddenly they will be wounded. Tremendous wounding. Narcissistic collapse, psychological collapse. You can't just make up things to hurt people. You can't play with other people's minds and not think it's going to cause you to stumble. your own tongue will turn against you. You'll turn against each other. The enemy of the Lord's people go into derision. The chosen ones send people into derision because their light and vibration is too much for the darkness to stand. They end up wounded. That's why sometimes we need to remove ourselves from people's lives, because we're doing them harm. We're too bright. Our light shines too bright. They're not ready for that. You could have a partner who's come into the light and is now using it to improve their life, but their family members are being crushed by it because they want to stay in the darkness. And all who see it shake their heads. I've had my family stand back and go, "Dad, what's going on? Like, this ain't you. What they're saying is not you, Dad." And I've had to stop and think about it and go, well, that's okay, let's see what happens. And usually by the time anything happens, it's all over and done. All who see this silly behaviour shake their heads in the end. And all mankind, all the people around them, fear and proclaim the work of God. And they ponder what he has done. See, people get the opportunity when they're taken down to ponder what they've done and to be able to self-introspect and improve. God gives everyone that opportunity by his Spirit. Sometimes the hardest things that come against us are the greatest opportunities for us to change and grow. Verse 10, "Let the righteous rejoice in the Lord and take refuge in him. Let all the upright in their heart exalt him for his mighty, wondrous works. All who see the wicked stumble and fall wounded, shake their heads. Don't be one of those. Let the Lord be your refuge in love and life and relationship." I'm Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Gosford, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Thank you for joining me, and bye.